staying at home, enjoying your online classes. Before I could go to the topic, let me ask two questions which is related to the topic. First one, morning as soon as you get up, what you will do? Obviously, everyone will brush our teeth. So to brush our teeth, what we need? We need brush and the toothpaste. So how we are able to take the toothpaste from the tube? So when I press the tube, what happens? The pressure that our finger exert at the bottom of the tube is transmitted throughout the tube and we are able to take the toothpaste out. Then the second question, when we fall sick, what we will do? We will go to hospital. So when we have high temperature, what the doctor will do? He will prescribe medicine and he may inject some medicine in our body. So how the doctor will inject the medicine? So he will take the syringe, he will take the medicine in the syringe and he will be applying pressure. When pressure is applied in the piston, the medicine gets transmitted into our body. So the two questions what we saw is related to Pascal's law. So today we are going to see about Pascal's law. So Pascal's law was proved by a French scientist named Blaise Pascal. Let us understand Pascal's law with the help of an experiment. Now I have taken a bottle, I have filled this bottle with water and I have made small holes in the cap. So this already many would have done in your childhood. Now let us understand the concept. So now apply pressure and when I press, what will happen? The liquid gets transmitted through all the holes. Children, you can try this experiment even using rubber ball. Now I will explain Pascal's law through another experiment. So now I have taken two identical syringe. Identical syringe means same size. So now I have filled one of the syringe with water. Then I have connected both the syringe with the help of a plastic tube. So now when I press the piston, so this part of the syringe is called as piston. When I press the piston downwards, what will happen? The liquid gets transmitted to the other syringe and the piston will be moving upwards due to pressure. Once again I will show you. When I press the piston downwards, the liquid gets transmitted to the other syringe and the piston is moving upwards due to pressure. So this is also based on Pascal's law. Now based on these two experiments, can you tell me the definition for Pascal's law? Pascal's law is defined as the pressure applied at any point of liquid at rest in a closed system will be distributed equally through all regions of the liquid. Now let us see the applications of Pascal's law. So based on Pascal's law, we will see how the following machines work. So first one, it is used in hydraulic lift. So what do you mean by hydraulic lift? When you go to automobile service station or water wash, so there they will be lifting the vehicle. So with the help of the hydraulic lift, they will lift the vehicle. Automobile brake system. So when you see all the automobiles, all the vehicles, brake system is based on Pascal's law. Then the third one, it is used in hydraulic press. So what do you you mean by hydraulic press? When you want to compress cotton or cloth in a bundle, so what they will do? They will compress this. So why they are compressing? So that it will occupy less space. So when you see this cotton, it is compressed. So when they bundle this, what will happen? It will occupy less space. So it is compressed using hydraulic press. The next one, it is used in sphygmomanometer. So sphygmomanometer means BP apparatus. So BP apparatus which is used in hospital to check the blood pressure. So this sphygmomanometer also works under Pascal's law. Next we are going to see very important topic called as surface tension. So why raindrops are spherical in nature? Then when you see the plants, how the leaf appear green. When we pour water, how does the water rise upwards against the force of gravity? So all these are due to surface tension. So now let us see this surface tension with the help of an experiment. So now I have taken a glass of water. Then I am going to drop this pin in water. So when I drop the pin in water, what happens? The pin sinks. Why the pin sinks? Because the density of pin is more when compared to water. Now I am going to place this paper on top. So now what happened to the paper? The paper floats. Now I am going to place the pin on top of the paper. Now wait for some time. After some time, you should remove the paper. So now what happens? The pin floats. So now how the pin floats? Water has a very strong surface tension. At the surface of the water, all the water molecules bunch up together and they cannot be separated very easily. So water molecules on the surface of the water behave like a stretched elastic membrane. So it does not allow the pin to submerge. Surface tension is defined as the amount of force acting per unit length on the surface of a liquid is called as surface tension. Now let us see the unit of surface tension. So unit of surface tension is Newton per meter. So why we are writing here as Newton per meter? The amount of force, the unit of force is Newton per unit length. Length is usually measured in meter, or else we can write it as Nm to the power of -1. So here N represents Newton, meter M. So why we are writing -1 here? Newton per meter. So when you write N into this M can be written as 1 by M. So when you write the reciprocal of this, it becomes Nm to the power of -1.
So in this picture, if you see, the leaves appear green. Even at the tip of the leaf also it appears green. How does the water rise upward in a tree or plant against the force of gravity? Come, let's see. Water molecules rise up due to surface tension. So xylem tissues are very narrow vessels present in plants. So what will happen? Water molecules are absorbed by the roots and these vessels helps the water to rise upward due to capillary action. So this is caused by the surface tension of water. While liquid drops are spherical in shape, for a given volume, the surface area of a sphere is a minimum. So this is the reason for the liquid drops to acquire a spherical shape. So you can see always water strider insect always slides on the water surface easily. Why it slides on the water surface easily? Due to the surface tension of water.
Next we are going to see about viscosity or viscous force. So now I have taken 4 substances as an example: water, oil, ghee and honey. So when you pour all these substance, each substance will flow at different speed. So when you drop water, what will happen? Water will flow very fast. Next oil will flow at a moderate speed. Next ghee will flow slowly. Then next honey very slowly. So why there is a difference in the speed? Due to viscosity. Since water is thin, it has less viscosity, and honey is thick, it has more viscosity. In other words, we can say stickiness. Stickiness will be more in honey. So due to that, viscosity also will be high.
When you take these substance, there is a frictional force parallel to the layers of the liquid.
The definition for viscous force is the frictional force which acts in order to oppose the relative motion of the layer is known as viscous force. Such a property of liquid is known as viscosity. Now let us see the unit for viscous force. So viscous force can be measured by using the unit called poise. So the unit poise is used in CGS system. So what do you mean by CGS? Centimeter for length, gram for mass and seconds for time. So in CGS, the unit of viscous force is poise. Next in SI unit, the unit for viscous force is kilogram per meter per second, or else we can write it as kg m minus 1 s minus 1. So this term is used in SI unit. What do you mean by SI? System International or International System of Units. So here why we are writing m to the power of minus 1 and s to the power of minus 1? Because kilogram into 1 by m into 1 by s. So when you take the reciprocal, what will happen? It becomes kilogram m to the power of minus 1 and s to the power of minus 1.
And this is called as maze game. Can you help the bunnies to find the path to feed the carrot?
Next we are going to see about friction. Before that we will see what do you mean by force and what are the types of forces. This is just a recap. Already you would have learned about force and its type. So what do you mean by force? A push or pull of an object is called as force. Then what are the two types of force? One is contact force and the other one is non-contact force. So what do you mean by contact force? When two objects are in contact with each other, so the force that is created at that particular time is called as contact force. Now I am lifting this pen. So my hand is in contact with the pen. So this is an example for contact force. Or when we write on the board or when we write in the paper, there is a contact between the tip of the pen and the paper. So that is also an example for contact force. Then what do you mean by non-contact force? Gravitational force, magnetic force, electrostatic force, all these are example for non-contact force. Now we are going to see one of the contact force, that is called as friction. So now I am holding a glass of water. So this is due to friction. So there is a contact between the palm and the glass. So now if I apply some oil and if I hold the glass, what will happen? Is it possible to hold it properly? No, it is not possible. Why? When oil is applied in the palm, what will happen? Friction will be reduced. So I will not be able to hold the glass properly. Now we will see the definition for friction. When two or more bodies in contact move or tend to move relative to each other. So now we are going to see the effects of friction. So friction produces the following effects. First one, friction opposes motion. And the second one, friction causes wear and tear. Then the third one, friction produces heat. Next we are going to see about types of friction. So in friction we have two types. One is static friction and the other one is kinetic friction. Static friction and kinetic friction. Now we will see what is static friction. The friction experienced by the bodies which are at rest is called as static friction. The word static means at rest or without any movement. For example, if you want to move sofa from one place to another, is it possible for you to move? No. Why? Because there is a friction between the sofa and the floor. So the force what we apply to the sofa is balanced by the frictional force in the floor. Next is kinetic friction. Now we will see what do you mean by kinetic friction. Friction existing during the motion of bodies. So what do you mean by motion? Motion means movement. Suppose we are walking on the road. So there is a friction between the footwear and the road. So that is an example for kinetic friction. When you are pedaling a bicycle, so what happens? There is a friction between the tire and the road. So that is also example for kinetic friction. Next we will see the types of kinetic friction. So kinetic friction is classified into two types. One is sliding friction and the other one is rolling friction. Sliding friction and rolling friction. So we will see what you mean by sliding friction. When a body slides over the surface of another body, the friction acting between the surface in contact is called as sliding friction. So many would have played slide. So what you will do, you will be going and sitting on top of the slide. Then you will be coming down. So there is a friction between the slide and your body. So that is an example for sliding friction. Another example I will show you. I have taken a notebook. I am going to slide this coin in the notebook. So now you can see the coin is sliding. There is a friction between the coin and the notebook so that the coin slides over the surface of notebook. Now we will see what I mean by rolling friction with the help of an example. So now I have kept 4 marker pen and I am going to roll this notebook on top of this pen. So now you can see that diary is moving freely. So this is called as rolling friction. So the diary is rolling over the marker. So there is a friction between the notebook and the marker. So this is an example for rolling friction. Now we will see the definition for rolling friction. When a body rolls over another surface, the friction acting between the surface in contact is called as rolling friction. So few examples I will say for rolling friction. If you see trolley, suitcase, vehicles, so there they have placed the wheel. So why they have placed the wheel? So that it can move very fast and smooth. Now we will see what are the factors that affect friction. First one is nature of the surface. Now we will see how friction affects the nature of surface with the help of a small example. Now I have divided the surface into 3 parts. Smooth surface, rough surface and very rough surface. Now I am going to slide the coin in very rough surface. So I am going to mark the distance. Then in rough surface, then in the smooth surface. So when you compare the distance, the smooth surface, it has travelled a maximum distance and in the very rough surface it has traveled a minimum distance. So depending on the nature of the surface it acts. So in smooth surface friction will be less, and in the very rough surface friction will be more. Next factor is weight of the body. Suppose you are riding a bicycle without any load in the carrier. So it will be easy for you to pedal. If you place any heavy object in the carrier and if you pedal, it will be difficult. So why there is a difficulty? Because the friction increases. So the friction will be increased between the surface of the road and the tire. Then the last factor is area of contact. So if the area of contact is greater, friction also will be greater. For example, if you take road roller, the base of the road roller will be broad. So there the friction will be greater. When you take bicycle, the wheel of the bicycle will be small, so the friction will be less. Now we are going to see the advantages of friction. First one, we can hold any object in our hand due to friction. Second one, we can walk on the road because of friction. The footwear and the ground help us to walk without slipping. Third one, writing easily with a pen on paper is due to friction. Fourth one, automobiles can move safely due to friction between the tire and the road. We are able to light a matchstick, sew clothes or fix a nail in the wall because of friction. So when you see all these advantages, we can say that friction is necessary in our day-to-day life. So even we have some disadvantages also. Even though we have disadvantages, friction is considered as a necessary evil.
When you take disadvantage, first one, friction wears out the surface when it is rubbed with each other. For example, if you see screws and gears in the machines or in the soles of shoes. To overcome the friction, an excess amount of effort has to be given to operate a machine. So what will happen? This will lead to wastage of energy. So we already saw friction produces heat. So due to heat, what will happen? It will cause physical damage to the machine.
So now this is the last topic for this lesson, increasing and decreasing friction. So first one, area of contact. So with the area of the contact, we can increase the friction. So when you see the kabaddi players, they will be rubbing their hand with mud. So why do they rub their hand? So that they will get a better grip. The next one, using lubricants. So what do you mean by lubricants? Grease, oil, all these will act as a lubricant. So a substance which reduces the frictional force is called as lubricant. So why we are using lubricant? The lubricants will fill up the gaps in the irregular surface between the bodies in contact. So this will provide a smooth layer. The last one, using ball bearing. So rolling friction is smaller than sliding friction. So sliding is replaced by rolling with the usage of ball bearing. So this ball bearing can be seen in the cycle hub.
Friction, what is friction? Friction is the rubbing up of objects that are moving, and the rubbing up of contact is friction. at work. Your shoes are made of friction material. It's immaterial what kind you wear. Walking or running, friction material helps you in getting from here to there.
Oh, come now, you don't mean all parts of my shoes.
No, only the parts that touch the ground. And, by the way, did you know that cars couldn't move without friction? The tires couldn't grip the ground. Friction, what is friction? Friction is the rub-a-dub-dub of objects that are moving, and the rub-a-dub of contact is friction at work.
Friction is greater on rougher surfaces, on smoother surfaces, friction is less. Oil is quite useful for many purposes. Speaking of friction, what is your guess?
Oil smooths the surfaces and reduces the friction. Friction, what is friction? Friction is the rub-a-dub of objects that are moving, and the rub-a-dub of contact is friction at work. Our little planet whirls into outer space. Out there in outer space, friction is nil. That's why our planet maintains a whirling pace. Whirling and twirling, it won't stand still. Friction, what is friction? Friction is the rub-a-dub of objects that are moving, and the rub-a-dub of contact is friction at work.
Children, let's recap what we have learnt. Pascal's law: the pressure applied at any point of a liquid at rest in a closed system will be distributed equally through all regions of the liquid. Surface tension: the amount of force acting per unit length on the surface of a liquid. Viscous force: the frictional force which acts in order to oppose the relative motion of the layer. Friction: when two or more bodies in contact move or tend to move relative to each other.
I hope you enjoyed the class. Thank you.